like they say, money is a tool. It's not a goal. So once you make it, it's not the end of it. It has to go and bring in more of its kind.
You are listening to Money Matters Podcast. Step into a world full of worth and financial intelligence. Dedicated to bringing awareness, empowering the world to financial freedom and personal development.
Once again, welcome to the Money Matters Podcast. I go by the name Clever Pinero. I'm in the studio with a professional investor, Alice. And today we're going to be talking about 5 strong strategies that's going to help you save money. 5 strategies that you can use to save money. What's going on, Alex?
Not much, man. We're here again, and it's always a pleasure to be here and get the opportunity to talk to the people. And once again, we're here with the 5 strongest strategies to save money. You know, we're all about saving money. So today is also another version of it. Let's hit it.
Yep. So the number 1 strategy is tracking your spending.
It's very important.
You know, you want to make sure that you track all your expenses. You want to track your expenses and work it against your income. You already know how much money you're making every year, every month, every week, every day. And you know your expenses. So it's a matter of expenses minus the income. You know, it'll give you a clear idea of how much money you should be saving. And you try your best to strategize in a way that you'll be able to save that money. So let's say you're getting paid every month and you know your expenses every week. You'll be able to know how to pace yourself, you know.
Yeah.
You'll be able to know, all right, I got to spend this amount every week to make sure that I save this amount every month. Or if you get paid every week, you already know your expenses during the week. So expenses minus income, you know how much you have, how much you're supposed to have. So you make sure that you do the math and have an idea. Because if you don't have that idea and you just, you know, walking around doing whatever you got to do, just spending money, you're never going to save money before you know everything is spent.
Yeah, and what I like most about this one is it gives you the snapshot of how your past spendings has brought you to where you are today.
Right.
Because the money we made about 2, 3, 4 years ago, if we had not spent that money, that would have been more money for us towards investment properties and stuff like that. But that money went somewhere. So if you're here today and you have a record of everything you're spending on and you're concentrating on what you're spending, that's when you start asking yourself those questions like, can I afford this? Is this something that I need? Should I invest in this? All right. So yeah, tracking your expenses, it brings you face to face with where you stand financially, and it also tells you how your past spendings is working for you or against you. So it's always important to track where our money goes.
Yeah, it gives you a clear idea on whether you got to cut expenses or you got to make more money. You know, if you feel like you got to make more money, you make more money. Because some expenses, maybe you don't want to cut certain expenses. You know, certain things you feel like you want this. You don't want to cut it. The only way to offset that is to make more money. So once you know, it's like basically budgeting yourself. Once you budget things out, you feel like you need to make more money or cut expenses, that option is yours, whichever one will help you.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we've all come to this position before where you will buy something maybe a year or 2 years ago, and then you will come to find that, or you will see that and you start thinking, did I really need this? You know what I'm saying? So that will guide your spending for the next couple of years that you have ahead of you. So it's very important that we start tracking where our money goes.
Yep. And then number 2 on the list is to pay off debt with the snowball method.
Whoa, that's a huge term.
So basically, you want to make sure that you get rid of all debt. Sometimes people have multiple debts. So if you have a lot of debts, this is how you could easily pay off all these debts to give yourself a chance to save more money.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going to list all your debts, and once you list all the debts, you know, you're going to arrange it based on which one is higher, which one has the most money, which one has the less money. So you're going to tackle the debt with the less money and try to pay that one off while you pay minimum payments for the rest of the other bills.
Yeah, it's very important.
So once you pay the minimum, you pay minimum payments for the other bills and you pay off the smaller one. Once you get rid of the smaller one, then you go to the next smaller one. And then while you pay minimum for the other one, because The reason why you want to pay minimum for the other ones is because you don't want to not make payments and, you know, have other charges or increase the amount of money. If you pay minimum payments, you know that at least the debt is going to be stable.
Yes.
You know, so you make the minimum payments while you tackle the smaller ones. So once you get rid of the smaller one, the next smaller one, you go to the next smaller one. Then you go to the next smaller one while you're making minimum payments for the bigger ones.
Yes, that's the snowball method. There's another method too that I like. It's pretty much checking the interest you pay on every debt that you have. Some do have higher interest, some do have no interest for a certain amount of months and stuff like that. So that's also a good way to look at it, because if you're paying more in interest on a specific loan, you want to get rid of the ones that you pay more in interest on.
Yeah, that's why you got to analyze all of them, because if you could analyze it with the interest, or you could analyze it with the how much you owe. It's whatever makes sense at that point.
Yeah, so there are two methods that I'm trying to share with the people here. You can either go with the one with the highest interest, pay that off, because the more you pay in interest, the more money that is going away from you. So if you can get rid of those with high interest, you get rid of those first. And if the ones with, because there are some debts that do attract no interest.
Right.
So if that's the smallest and you're not paying any interest on it, then it would be very, prudent to actually get rid of those with the higher interest rate. So yeah, consider both methods and see which one will work for you better, and then choose it and try to get yourself out of debt.
Yep. So that's the snowball method. So make sure you evaluate all your debts, and you pay off the smaller ones first while you pay minimum on the bigger ones. And once you get rid of one, you tackle the next smaller one, or you check the interest rate and you tackle the ones with the smaller interest rate first, and you go to the next one and the next one. And before you know, you don't owe nobody. You're debt free. The next on the list is to pay yourself first.
Yo, paying myself means going to Macy's and grabbing that new cologne that I've been eyeing for all this while. Or what do you mean pay yourself?
That's not paying yourself first, man. You wanna develop this habit. Is crazy, because once you develop this habit, that is when you put yourself in a situation where if you own a cable bill, you will pay yourself first and let that cable bill just rot. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the one that did the work. You pay everybody else but you. You pay all the bills and you don't pay yourself. You leave yourself with zero. You're not being fair to yourself. Make sure that every time you get paid, you pay yourself first. You put that money to the side for you first before you think about paying all your debts or all your utility bills or anybody else.
Yeah.
Put a certain amount for yourself. Pay yourself first, regardless of whatever the situation is. Put money for yourself. You did the work. You deserve that money. What makes you think you don't deserve that money? You the one that putting in the work. So make sure you always pay yourself first. Come out with a percent for you. You become one of the bills. Pay yourself first every week, every 2 weeks, every month that you get paid.
Yeah, it's very important to make sure that we do pay ourselves, and paying ourselves is pretty much not on paydays is when you get out there to that fancy restaurant to go get that expensive high-end shirt or shoes or whatnot. Now, paying yourself is pretty much making sure that X amount of money is set to the side every day you get paid. One of the easiest way to do this is to set up that transfer from your checking to your savings, that amount that you want to put to the side for you. So as soon as the money hit the account, it automatically goes into the savings for you. So you wouldn't even have to deal with, going to thinking about, should I buy this first and then pay my nah. You set that up. So as soon as the money hit the account, it goes straight into that savings, and you don't have to deal with this dilemma or none of that stuff. So let's pay ourselves, because paying ourselves is pretty much putting money to the side for the future unexpected occurrences. Because if you work to eat every day, you're gonna have to be working every day. So ask your question: what's gonna happen on that day that you can't go to work? What's gonna happen in times like this, the coronavirus, where even if you're gonna get unemployment, I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be a percentage of what you make every month. So if your budget is right neck to your bills and expenses, where are you going to make that that 20% or 30% that you're not going to be getting this pay period. So yes, let's pay ourselves for these times.
Yeah, so basically we're not saying pay yourself first to just spend the money or go take yourself to the nice restaurant or to the fancy store or whatever.
Put money to the
side to potentially invest.
Yes.
You know, to make more money. Don't just put money to the side just to spend. Put money to the side to invest, to, you know, basically bring other monies.
Like they say, money is a tool. It's not a goal. So once you make it, it's not the end of it. It has to go and bring in more of its kind.
Yep. And number 4 on the list is aim for a 10% savings rate. Aim for a 10% savings rate. Basically, what you want to do is try to save 10% of your salary every year. Or, you know, I mean, when we're talking about saving your salary, that's huge. But if you get paid every once a month or you get paid every week or every 2 weeks, make sure you save 10% of that.
Yeah, it's very important. Yep.
That will be the amount that you're paying yourself first. You know, you can be paying yourself 10%. It's whatever you're comfortable with. But this is just a suggestion, you know. If you're comfortable with 5%, 20%, 50%, you know, the option is yours. But the minimum that you could do is 10%. Save yourself 10%. Save 10% every time you get paid. Automate it. Automate 10% into a different account or, you know, some account that you never check. That way, you know, the funny thing is when you automate stuff like that, money to be taken from your account every time you get paid, you get used to the money that's left, and you budget yourself based on that. And you never worry about the other 10%. You know, you even forget about it sometimes. You know, that's what we call out of sight, out of mind. You forget about it, and before you know, end of the year, whenever you feel like checking, you go check and you see that you have a lot of money saved up. So you want to make sure 10%, it's not so huge, you know. Put that 10% to the side every month, and you'll be able to save a lot of money over time.
Yep. And this is something that you can also do with the pay yourself first. All right. So you put them together, and if you think you can do that 10%, that's going to be the money that you're going to be paying to yourself every time you get paid. Because right now, it may probably seems like this is impossible. There's no way I could do this. But just give yourself that chance. You know, this is where you want to get to.
Discipline yourself.
You know what I'm saying? There you go. That's the word, discipline. Yep. So this is where you want to get to. So even if you try and you hit 8%, then you know you're getting somewhere. You will know what to cut to make it to that 10%. So let's go for it. Let's start with that 10% plus. Now combine the factor 4 and 3 together with, you know, paying yourself, and then making sure you pay yourself that 10%.
Yep. And the last one on the list is to try a no spend month.
No spend month.
I mean, when they say no spend month, they're not talking about not spending any money at all. Like, you're going to spend money only on necessities, needs, only on needs for that month. Anything else that you could just avoid, or you could have another alternate that could do the same thing, you do that. If you drive to work, if you could ride a bike, you could walk, you do that. If you you go to the movies every Friday. Now try to get to know your neighborhood. Find the parks around, the walking trails around. Instead of going to pay money to go to the movies, take a walk on our trails, go explore that park and stuff like that. Make sure you bring the home cook to work every day, so you don't spend on lunch, meals, and stuff like that. So these are take food to work. Like, you know, go to the restaurant. If you watch cable every month, just go 1 month without cable.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a necessity. It's not something that you cannot live without. Try that. And the funny part is, you know, if you're able to strictly and disciplinedly go through this month without paying for all these things, you're probably gonna find yourself in a spot trying to reevaluate your spending habits, like all the things that you spend on. Next thing you know, you're cutting a whole bunch of things that you don't need.
Once you see the money that you're saving, you know, when you see results, it will always motivate you. You know, when you're not seeing results, then you're probably doing the same thing. But once you see results, you be like, wow, I could save this money every month. Why not just do it for 2 months or 3 months or 4 months? Before you know, you're doing it for the whole year. So it's a good method, you know.
Yeah, so let's try new things. Let's try exploring new ways in saving, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't do these things, we're going to be doing our same old ways every day. And if you don't change our ways, we're going to remain in that spot we are in right now for the rest of our lives.
Yep. So these are the 5 strongest ways, 5 ways that you could use, 5 strategies, 5 plans that you can use to save more money. You save so much money, you're gonna be shocked. So let's try to give it a shot, guys, and try to save as much money as we can, so we can invest, so we could, try to live the dream that we want to live, and not just drift around and do nothing. So we hope you guys give it a try. Thank you guys for listening. This is the Money Matters podcast. Subscribe, like, share. Thank you guys for listening.
That's all for today. Until we meet again next time, never stop learning. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to our channel. Email us at themoneymatterspodcast@gmail.com.